St Helens lives on the water. Everyone here lives for the sea, basically. So it's not so much a matter of it being a seaside resort that makes the marine rescue so important. It's because we are based around Georges Bay and we have the problems with the St Helens Barway.
Barway is it's like a ridge of sand that stretches across the entrance of Georges Bay. And depending on the tides and the weather conditions, it can be extremely rough. Huge swells which break on the Barway. And if you're trying to come through there in a vessel and you don't know what you're doing, well, then it's a recipe for disaster.
A lot of vessels have come to grief, they've sunk. Tragically, also lives are being lost because you have no control in a boat when you hit those treacherous conditions. The St Helens Barway has a history since 1890. It has been there throughout that time, and the records show that it behaves much the same today as it did back in those years.
The Barway shifts a lot, and the deep water where we cross can be north or south or, in a week or two.
We have to go out there quite regularly and just check where the channels change to. We have to keep taking soundings.
St Helens Marine Rescue is made up of volunteers that are dedicated towards the health and safety of people on our waters. We start each day with VHF radio coverage in which we provide the weather forecast, and we also take messages from people out to sea. They log on with us to let us know where they are, and at the end of the day they log off.
A lot of sailors, a lot of boaties don't like crossing barways. Boats need assistance to cross the bar. We do a service of escorts, recoveries, tows and that sort of thing.
It's grown from a tiny little 1 or 2 person operation to now we have 45 members, of which 20 odd are very active participants in marine rescue.
A lot of our visitors to the area, they come by yacht. They come through that area that's there, so it's good that we can actually have something in place to look after those people when they get in trouble.
When you go on the water, there are dangers, and we are there to provide for the safety of those people in the case of an emergency. So there's a high degree of reliance upon our services. As a result, there's a feeling of confidence when people go on the water knowing that there is somebody there that can support them. Bendigo Bank's contribution to our services enables us to buy those things that we can't necessarily afford. We are a volunteer organisation. Finance is a real issue for us.
Marine Rescue, we felt, was very deserving of the grant because they are vital to this community.
They've given us 2 community grants, the first of which we bought a parachute drogue. We also got a flying gaff.
We've supplied funds for a monitor for the cameras which are out in our barway, so they help protect human life.
We can see what the conditions are like on the bar, and that's a really important indicator to us here because we're 6 nautical miles away from the barway. We're very grateful to have a community bank which really looks after the community.
The distribution of the money into the community is done via community grants. We have 3 grant rounds every year. What we do is we basically ask the community groups, if you have a need for funds to help your group, you can apply for funds to the community bank.
They've got to sell a lot of sausages to make $1,000, whereas if they apply for a grant here, well then they can get up to $1,000 in that grant.
In the short time that we've been open, we've managed to put back in the community over $30,000. And we've only just scratched the surface. We're sort of getting our stride.
That's the strength of the community bank, of course, is that those profits come back to our company which is distributed to the community. It's really there to strengthen the local community by providing support.